I'm her biggest supporter.
Well, I would say I'm her biggest supporter, but like
Okay,
1A,
well,
1B.
you didn't fly to New Zealand for her, did you?
I would have. I
Oh,
would have.
mic drop.
I didn't have the producers pay for it either, so I would have done it on
Mic
my own
drop.
dime. Hey everyone, thanks for watching this episode of BachMakers. Make sure to
Like
comment
and subscribe.
Thanks for watching. Keep watching. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to BachMakers, presented by Good Time Media. I am Wyatt. That's Michael. And today we have a very special guest to help recap week 2 of Grant's season. Michael and I know him or have referred to him in the past as Matty Smokes.
Smokes.
Matty Rossi is in the building. Matty, thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here. Thank you guys. I've been following along for a while now and excited to join in on the fun.
Appreciate it. We got to clear the air a little bit before we get into episode 2. You may or may not know Jenn was a wise gal, which means she was part of my fantasy team way back when. So I am loyal to her 100%. So I don't know the whole history where you guys stand right now, but I have to let you know right now, I'm fully on her side no matter what. So if she says, like, take this video down, get them off my screen, I have to do it.
Jenn and I are on great terms. I'm always on Jenn's team. Obviously we've debriefed from everything and we're great friends. And I don't know. I don't think she probably sees enough of me already. So
fair enough. And the other thing I want to clear the air with, Michael and I debated this on the show, so I think we should finally get some answers. Did you actually pay for everything to get over there on the show?
Let's say it was partially subsidized.
Okay. All right.
Heavily subsidized.
That's what we figured. All right, fair enough. We figured that. Just wanted to clear the air there. All right, so I mean, just overall, before we get into what actually happened this episode, what's your thoughts so far in the season? 2 weeks in, Grant's the lead. How are we feeling?
Now, this has been my second, I'd say, season watching through. I've watched it in the past with my grandma. She's probably one of the biggest Bachelor Nation fans out there. So I'd say last season was my first. Then obviously I watched The Bachelorette, and then now coming into my second Bachelor season. I forgot. It's emotionally exhausting. Like, I'm in here feeling with these girls, like all the emotions. It's also hard to remember everyone's names. I'm right. I had to take notes this time, but yeah, I mean, I think it's off to a hot start. The drama's right off the bat. I think we had the typical night one intros. I thought there were some fun entries there, but yeah, this is the classic. Tension starts episode 2 once people start stealing time, and I feel like that's always the trigger that gets the ball rolling. So
yeah, I mean, Michael and I, we did a live stream during the episode, and we both thought this felt like a bit like a heavy episode. It felt like a marathon. It felt longer than 2 hours. They covered so much ground. They set up like 12 different storylines. There was a lot going on. But I think Michael and I both agree, Grant, for the most part, this was a good episode for him. We haven't always been the kindest, or we've been somewhat critical of Grant for the timing of some of his things, social media, not his strong suit. But he had a good episode, I think. And Michael, I think you would attest to that for the most part.
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, some of the, I don't know, they were really going on the musical aspect of it, and you know what? He rapped, he freestyled, and he did his little "I need to."
Did he write that song? Was that his song?
He said it was off the cuff. He said it was like ad-libbing it. Not a chance.
He pre-wrote that.
That wasn't what he dropped the other day, did he?
That's not Party Girls. That's a different song. Again, this is the issues we're having with Grant. We're like, all right, just focus on the season. The rap career can come later. But yeah, I don't know. I think this was a good episode for Grant. He saves himself a little bit in my book. We'll start with the basketball date. Basketball date, I thought was a fun date. I came earlier than I thought it would. And I would say Natalie crushed it. Power move by going and hanging out with the kids instead of Grant.
I 100% agree. That kids are kind of my, I think, weakness. To see her going over and prioritizing the kids to me was really cool. I think the competitiveness that you saw come out in some of the girls to me would have maybe been a bit of a turnoff. I respect that they're fighting, would be fighting over, say, Grant, right? But to me, I think someone that's able to step aside and kind of show like actual compassion, especially when you kind of could see that it meant something to Grant ahead of time, like him bringing the kids in the first place. I thought that was a really great testament to her character, and I took note of it.
Yeah. And Michael, you've said it's the chase. It's the chase.
Yeah, I mean, guys want the chase, and even as the Bachelor, he wants the chase, and he obviously sees Natalie like over there, kind of doing it, and like having those like strong motherly qualities, which all guys look for. So yeah, I mean, I think it was a power move. I think also the being competitive is kind of a ick in a sense, but also I think just bricking shot after shot would also kind of be an ick for me. So like there was the that tough watch 18-2, like wow. I don't.
None of them could hoop. None of them. They got rid of Janae. Janae was the professional basketball player last week. How mad was Janae watching this date at home?
In a
Being
moment.
like, I could be there just stunting on these hoes. And then no. She's
Actually.
watching at home. So that's
I mean, the broken nails got me. I all over the court. They were dropping like fallen soldiers out there.
and I have to say the intern that selected those teams needs to get fired or should never be in any scouting position whatsoever, because he had probably an hour to watch them hoop, watch them shoot a couple shots, and then pick teams and set it up. He chose the worst teams ever. And he got all the tall girls on one team and they dominated.
Or he knew what he was doing.
Yeah, or he's created more
Yeah.
drama that way. Good point.
Wanted to set up like a David and Goliath kind of thing, see if the short girls could overcome the difference.
Yeah, you never know.
What are the thoughts on Zoe? So Zoe steals Grant during the slam dunk lines, straight, which is insane. And then they go up the elevator. They didn't even just go off to the side around the corner. They went up to the elevator on the rooftop. It had to be like 20 minutes at least, and then comes back. Mike, I'll let you go first because I will defend Zoe a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, look, I feel like everybody does the little kind of steal you for a bit, but like in the middle of the slam dunk contest, like two people in or whatever, like let the girls hoop. Let Grant watch the girls slam dunk on a 7-foot rim, maybe 6-foot rim. I don't know. They could still barely dunk. I think that was a little selfish. I thought they were just gonna go around when they cut to them on the roof. I was like, I guess production just wanted the sunset shot with the city in the background.
It's good lighting.
It kind of looks cool, but like little extra. You could tell Grant was kind of like, this is a little strange. Like, she's definitely like gonna get some shit for this. So
Yeah,
I don't know.
Well, so my thought on Zoe is at least she's consistent. She's not getting mad that the other girl so later on Allie Joe steals Grant from her. She doesn't really get mad at Allie Joe. She's like, that's just how the game is played. And she's not getting mad at the situation because she's doing the same thing. So she's consistent enough to be like, I'm going to play the game this way. I'm going to be all in for Grant, and I don't care what the other girls think. If you're going to go that route, you got to commit to it. You can't play both sides and be like, I don't want to hurt the girls' feelings, but I'm also going to be all in for Grant. There's two routes you can go in this show. You can be the Allie Joe route of, I want to make sure all the girls still like me and I'm not going to step on any toes. Or Zoe, I'm going to go all in for Grant and I'm going to step on all of the toes. And it's usually the person who's in the middle that wins. So neither of these two feel like super strong contenders for me. But I have to like respect Zoe for at least being consistent. I think she a little bit disrespectful, but at least she's consistent.
It's not anything that anyone else hasn't done in the past. I think you always have the player that steps up and does that. And, you're not there to make friends. You're there to fall in love. And I respect the hustle of it. I also respect the girls getting upset about it because their time is getting taken. And I think there's always the one girl or guy steps up and kind of goes toe to toe. And neither of those two really are the ones that come out on top. So I mean, I'd probably be a little bit on the sidelines with this one, maybe upset, but I mean, again, you got to respect the game. It's nothing that we haven't seen before. So
Yeah.
to me, I agree. Like I wouldn't write off Zoe as anything at this point in time. I think we see how kind of the cards fold.
Well, Michael, you brought up during our live stream, Devin did this. Devin did
Yeah.
this and then won. So you can't like
Yeah.
ignore it. So it's a working strategy. It's won
Yeah.
before. So
At the end of the day, it's limited time, and they're just selfish, but they're keeping the main thing.
Yeah.
What I find interesting is the leads' reaction to it, because I feel like some leads love it. It like shows them that this person's fighting for them, that it matters. Some leads, it turns them off, and I think it kind of speaks a little bit to kind of like the lead in their value system a bit too. So I think that's also an interesting piece to consider.
Yeah. Anything else from the basketball date stand out? So Chloe got the MVP, which basically just meant she got to kiss Grant real quick. She really did anything from it. It's like, hey, you want MVP? Kiss Grant for a sec.
I mean, Chloe just had absolutely the Angel Reese moment. I mean, she was just rebound, brick, and then finally it goes in. So she kind of had it was the Angel Reese meme.
Are you saying she stat pad? She was stat padding?
She kind of was stat padding. She kind of made it look like they did that whole brick compilation, and Chloe got a lot of those rebounds because she was tall. So.
What about the fast break? Parissa over the head. That's Sports Center top 10.
Yeah, and then she was cherry picking. She was cherry picking all the way down the court. So a little bit of stat padding.
All right, fair enough. Yeah, no, it was bad basketball. There's no other way to put it. It's just bad hoops, and I'm sure Grant didn't love to see it, but. Again, the other thing is they didn't bring in actual basketball players. They brought in kids because I think Grant would have felt a little insecure if like Raymond Felton showed up. You got to like, I don't know why I'm going Bobcats, but like Amika Okafor shows up and then all of a sudden, you don't know Amika Okafor?
No, but like
Read a book.
Why those two people?
I said Raymond Felton and I immediately went Amika Okafor.
You could have gone Luka Doncic or Anthony Davis, like keep up with the news or like.
They bring Luka in, announce the trade 8 weeks or 6 months earlier.
What I loved is those kids were serious about it. They were having none of the drama. They were like, we're here to win.
Yeah, they should have let
As
them.
they should be.
They should have let them decide who like was MVP. Grant shouldn't get a call. It should be the coaches.
Yeah, there's one kid when they were coming back, when Zoe and Grant were coming back. One kid had the Matumbo finger, and he was like, he was all like, I'm mad at you.
Yeah,
I thought that was pretty cute. So.
Yep. And then we get the gloves really come off at this point. Allie Joe versus Zoe in the second half of that date, where Zoe steals Allie Joe and then just sticks around the corner, steals her back, and then it just becomes a back and forth. Which the one thing I'll say here, Zoe, if you're gonna pick a fight with anybody on this season, probably not a good idea to do the boxing instructor. The one who could literally beat the shit out of anyone who's ever been on this show, anyone who's ever been a contestant. She'd kill everybody. So like that's the one person maybe like, hey, back off a little bit. That's the only thing I'll say there.
She's got the height on her though.
She does. Mm-hmm. Maybe the reach. She's got more reach.
And the wrestling background. We saw her take Grant to the ground.
It actually might be a good fight.
Yeah. It might be.
Another Netflix pay-per-view.
Dana White. Get a UFC.
Yeah. Do you think she actually sat around the corner? Because it made it look like she was there. And like, Matty, you might be able to speak on this more from a production side of things. Like, is there anything you picked up? You're like, that's probably not how it happened.
I'm sure that she probably was right around the corner. And I mean, I don't know like the exact timing. I don't know that she was there the whole time, but they probably had her close in enough that they were probably allowing her to interact again or engage. So without taking away too much of the movie magic.
Yeah. How, like, during those situations, and obviously you were in a very different spot than like the normal contestants. How much dialogue is there like consistently with the producers at that time? Like during a group date or situation like that? I don't even remember how much you were involved in all this.
Yeah, I thought it was an unconventional entry, you could say. I mean, the producers are there the whole time. They're off camera. You're not really seeing them too much, but they're around. They're listening to every conversation. I think one of the interesting things is you're having these really deep emotional conversations. And yes, you're having it with the person you're talking to, but also there's 30 people there with like boom mics and cameras that are also listening in. So it kind of adds to the pressure. So I give a lot of credit for a lot of these folks that like are able to speak very eloquently and, you know, speak their truth while having a lot of eyeballs on you. And, um, I mean, imagine having like a deep emotional talk you've had in a relationship and it being in front of 30 people and then
And then
millions of
America.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you kind of get in your head a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I respect when people are able to like really step into it um and really, be their authentic selves and
Yeah.
speak their truths.
And I'm sure the stress is so bad but like after it films and then waiting for it to air, because then you almost kind of forget what you said. And then you're sitting there for months just like waiting, like, how did that go? What was that conversation like? I got to sit there and watch it now. And like, that's got to be the worst. I can't even
And you
imagine.
kind of black out during it. I mean,
Yeah.
you don't really remember everything. You don't know how I'd say like edit it. Like I think a lot of people ask about editing. Like how much is it editing misrepresented? I mean, you can only edit what's there. Like if you're saying something, like they can't edit you saying something else. I think what you see a lot more of is things left out. So like maybe parts of conversations that don't get shown, and then you hear someone say something and it's kind of like a little off-putting. So I'd say it's more of like things get removed than anything gets,
Yeah.
I guess, manipulated. Sorry, I don't know if you can hear the dog Kirk. Then he's like
No,
barking a little bit in the back. He sees a bone that he can't get.
that's fine. Let's move on to Alex's date, which I think is one of the best dates they've had in a long time. That's such a fun date. It's one of those dates I would want to go on. Where you just get the mall all to yourself. And Alex said it herself. It just makes you feel like a kid again. Like that's a dream. It's similar to Katie had a museum date with Zach, and that worked out well for them. So that's just a fun environment where I feel like they can just be themselves as much as possible. Obviously, Grant had to do the whole music thing, which not a chance that was impromptu off the cuff. He definitely
Yeah.
practiced that, but
He wrote that.
I can't be too hard on him.
But
I
it's
would've-
catchy. I'll give it to him. That song, I need to. That is so catchy.
Yeah.
It's been in my head for like since
Yeah.
the initial preview.
Yeah, they've used it. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, I feel like that would have been a great karaoke performance. So, like,
Yeah.
I feel like Grant's like an all-star karaoke guy. I think he probably puts on a good show. I would have liked to see like the pop star bit tweaked to karaoke because I think that what someone's picking a karaoke song speaks so much to them. Like, you get the people that get the crowd pleasers that everyone sings along to. You get the people that maybe have some talent and actually can like step up and perform. You get people that pick a funny song that like the what is it, tequila, like when
Oh
someone
yeah,
gets
it's
up on
one
stage,
word.
like
Yeah.
that you can kind of tell. You like, I always say, like, in interviews, like that's my favorite question is like, what's your go-to karaoke song, because it's so telling about a person. So
Well, what's yours?
okay, well, I have a karaoke playlist because I actually am very passionate about
Okay.
karaoke. But you know what I just added to? I have like a country twang when I sing.
Okay.
So I love like a Tennessee whiskey. I think that,
Friends in low places. I feel like
yeah, I hit. I
friends in low.
I did have a few drinks this summer and do Year 3000 by the Jonas Brothers and live
Nice.
band karaoke. And that one was like, I think it just brought out a lot of nostalgia. So, boy band, it was a
Yeah,
fun time. So I can't ever pick one, which
fair.
I like. I'm a variety
That's fair.
guy. But yeah, I was cringing a lot during all of those performances.
Oh my gosh.
frankly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that one. Well,
Bailey was tone deaf, so like actually, like she was trying, but like wow, that was a tough one to start with.
I think the male stripper date was an easier watch last season than the karaoke or than the singing.
yeah.
Like the golden stripper date.
No,
Honestly, like
well, I guess they have a stripper date as
Yeah.
much as they can, but I meant on Jen's season.
Yeah.
oh yeah, that one.
Real quick with Alex, because I think that date went well, and she she seems like she's gonna be around for a while, so we'll have plenty of time to talk about her. This is where Grant kind of won me over. Again, we've been pretty critical, but as we should of the lead, we always are. It's just comes with the territory. But I think he responded well to Alex when she kind of opened up. I really liked how he handled her saying she like comes from an unconventional family. And I think the way he phrased it and like really like uplifted her and said like this is your time to have your own story, build it like how you want to do it. I think that was really cool. And he didn't also do it in a way that's very like leading her on. It was like this is your story. It wasn't like, hey, this is going to be us and we'll figure it out together. He didn't lead her on. He was very supportive in that way. So shout out to Grant. I don't shout him out enough, so I will give him props there.
I'd also say later on too with Lydia, is that
It's Latia. I figured that one out.
With Latia, him like noticing that he said something that like off put her, and then making the effort to fix that, I thought was pretty impressive. I think admitting you're wrong or kind of anything especially in a relationship setting can be difficult. So I think it really matters, even when you still have a bunch of other women that you're handling at once. Like, I mean, you got to give some props there.
Yeah. And I want to shout out Alex. There was one clip of her stealing all this stuff from the mall. That was good. I would have done the same thing.
It reminded me of Stranger Things a little bit, the whole like mall scene.
Yeah.
I was saying Paul Blart Mall Cop vibes a little bit, like just being the only one in the mall in a little way.
We got to get our hands on an empty mall.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
That'd be expensive.
Yeah.
But we are praising Grant now, and I'll save it for when we talk about it. He did one thing at the end of the episode that I thought was a big no-no, and I was kind of like ruined him in the episode for me. So we'll get to that later, though.
All right. So then the rap date, Grant does his little rap. Mario shows up, which Michael, you want to say it?
Oh yeah, first thing I was like, was Mario trying to get the Bachelor edit?
He was. It was. I literally the second he was on there performing to these girls, I Googled. I was like, is Mario married? Because this could be a problem.
I'm just thinking like, what's he doing on the show? Like, he must not have anything else going on.
Yeah, I mean, when's the last time you heard Mario? He's not like
a bar mitzvah when I was 12, 13.
Yeah. Yeah, the girls, I mean, they did. No, I was gonna say they did better than I thought. They didn't. They did. They
none
did
of them
pretty bad.
actually.
They actually were all very, very bad. But I give them credit for doing it, because the second if I was on that date and I heard what it was, I would opt out. I say like, you know what, ain't for me. I'm gonna go home. Sorry, see you later. Because there's no way I could have done that. So props to them in that sense. But I would argue Bailey was probably the worst. We mentioned it, and it didn't get much better from there.
And,
I was hoping Rebecca was gonna step up with something. She talked a lot of game in the upfront, and I don't know. Maybe I was a little too critical of the vocals, but
I think she's like her first like 3 notes, like she hit them. Like she was like good for the first 3, and then you could tell she was kind of shaky,
nervous,
it fell off. But like you could tell like she can sing in a regular setting.
I'd like to see her with an encore. Give her another.
Rebecca, I could never get a read on. And it was just her tone of voice. Sometimes it felt like she had an accent that just came out of nowhere. She talked to Grant like she was trying to hypnotize him. She was like a weird whisper, like she was trying to put him in a trance. I don't know. I just couldn't get a good. And she's on my team. She's a wise gal, so may she rest in peace, and we'll carry on in her memory. But yeah, I just couldn't get a read on her. And she's a jump rope influencer, by the way, which kind of rocks. She's just posts jump rope videos, so she's in great shape. But yeah, no, I could never get a read on Rebecca, and obviously neither could Grant at that point.
I gotta get some jump rope.
Yeah, Michael, do you want to do your Carolina minute right now?
Oh my gosh, Carolina, where do I even begin?
All right, we got a guest too as we get into it.
There we go.
Oh, hi.
He wants to join the chat. This is Kirkland, named after the Costco hot dogs, the legendary $1.50 Costco hot dogs.
That's the cutest guest we've had on the show. No offense.
There we go.
I don't know.
Oh, this is perfect timing talking about Carolina when an amazing dog pops up. Carolina, where do I begin? Absolutely killed that group date. And then the straddle at the end, a little bit extra, but we appreciate a little extra on the Bailey's Beauties. Um, yeah, that pink. Oh my gosh, she rocks pink. Pink is her color, but black may be her color too because she wore that on the after party. Looked amazing in that too.
I like her flair. I like her
She's
flair.
got flair. She's got flair.
She's got the Puerto Rican flair.
I feel like
kind of got Maria vibes. She's got Maria vibes. Not too Maria, but a little different. A different.
I think she's gonna dig her heels in here soon. I think this week she was like, I mean, I don't think she's in the wrong for doing what she did. I just think the girls don't want to see that, obviously, but is what it is. You got to do what you got to do. But I think now, like next week, when it continues to become a topic, she's just gonna dig her heels in and be like, you know what, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm confident enough, and then I think she's gonna have some fun. I think she's gonna have a lot of fun these next couple weeks, and I'm excited. I know you're excited, Michael.
I mean, I think it's pretty crazy how the girls were mad at Carolina, or it was just really awkward and tense. But when you think about back to charity season, when the same kind of group date in a sense, and Joey goes up there and kisses Charity for like the longest kiss in Bachelor history. And the guys were like upset, but it wasn't that big of a deal. And everybody wasn't mad at Joey. Everybody still would just praise Joey, and it was Joey, Joey, Joey. And so why is it that different with Carolina? Is it just because like she's got a little spice?
She's a threat.
Like,
they know it.
I don't know.
Feels like a threat in my mind, but
yeah.
I don't know. The one bar I want to point out from this date, another props to Grant. He said in his rap, "Never gonna bail like I'm Christian." Bar.
That was fire.
Christian Bale bar. That rocked. I caught that one. I was like, all right, Grant. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe I was wrong, and this rap career is gonna work out because that was kind of a bar. I got to give him credit there. That was good. What do you think of his music so far, Matty? Are we in? Are we out? Are we gonna listen to Party Girls after this?
I didn't even. He removed it before I could get a chance
Back
to
up,
listen.
back
It
up.
was back up.
Don't worry.
All right, I gotta listen to it. I think it's too early to judge right now. I think he's putting himself out there. I'll respect anyone that does something creatively and puts themselves out there. So
the timing.
Too early
though.
to see.
The timing.
Timing was a little suspicious, but I don't know. It's he's got attention.
It works. You got eyes on you.
You got eyes on you, and maybe I thought it was actually going to be like an Easter egg to something on the season, which I thought it would have been cool. So like if there was something in it that maybe hinted at some things that were to happen. So I don't know, maybe go back through the lyrics and see, because that's what I would have thought would be kind of like a cool
I'll say, just based off what we've seen from Grant's social media, not a chance that it was that thought out. We've noticed that, and we love him for it. But Michael, you said it best. He has got the social media presence of what, like a 50-year-old man.
You guys rocking with this?
What was the one from today? It was like happy light skin Mondays, or should I say?
Oh yeah.
Or should I say Bachelor Mondays? I was like, all right, Grant. Do what you got.
I don't know. Maybe his Facebook is good. He kind of is operating as like a older generation. Maybe he's just hot on Facebook.
Yeah, maybe he's crushing it,
crushing the pokes, joining all the groups.
The picture of his day trades. You guys want more day trading content? Yes, no.
And then, so good.
And then he made another Instagram account and then deleted it. He made another Instagram account for his day trading.
I mean, how do you think he was day trading during the show? Like, or did he have someone take over the accounts? Like, how do you?
It's good questions. You're asking good questions.
Yeah, I don't know.
A lot of it doesn't make a lot of sense.
Because day trading isn't investing for the long term, right? It's pretty short.
Yeah. He probably just took a little tea break. He kind of had. Yeah. He probably had a lot of other stuff to put his mind at, or lips on.
Nice.
He's making a better investment now, anyways.
Yeah.
Second half of that date. So, what happened? Who got the group date rose there? It was
Latia, because Latia got deep.
Yes. Oh yeah. So, we skipped over. Natalie did get the rose. And then Latia gets here because I props to Latia too for calling him out, because that takes balls too. So props to Grant for owning up to it, and then Latia for saying, hey, like, that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. Yeah, Latia was the number 1 overall pick in our draft. So I think she's performing like one. She's doing well. She'll stick around. I like Latia.
I like Latia too. I also think it's so impressive she's a venture capitalist. So like that to me is just very attractive.
Yeah,
You know,
there's a
it's
lot of smart girls.
yeah. Um,
like this.
yeah, no, they did a good job. Good job casting. And I just think that, yeah, it was an overall a very mature conversation on both ends. She expressed that something that bothered her, and he stepped up and recognized it and apologized. Like, I think you don't see a lot of that communication uh, in everyday relationships.
Yeah. This cast goes deep. It's a deep cast. Solid roster here.
Yeah, and I said this on the live stream about that one comment he made to Latia night one. It was like, I think, what did he say specifically? Why
He
he was
said,
like,
I bet you don't hear no a lot or something like
yeah,
that.
you probably don't get told no a lot.
Mhm.
I mean, if he's talking to so many girls night one and he's got to find 25 different ways to say like you're attractive and everything, I feel like that's a valid comment to make. Like, oh, it's kind of like a cute, like, man, you don't get told no a lot. Like, you're so, it's kind of like when you're adults as a kid, like, oh, you're going to break so many hearts when you grow up. I feel like it's along those lines, a little bit grown up version. I don't think it's necessarily like an insult. I get how it can be taken the wrong way, but like, I don't think it's the worst thing he can ever say.
I kind of agree. I think it's more of like the expression of it. If you take it
Yeah.
literally, it's like, yeah, it kind of sounds a little weird.
Yeah,
I think the intention is obviously the right, but
intention's there.
if you like think about it for more than a second, you're like, that's a little weird. Maybe don't
It
say
feels
that.
a little bit like a online dating line, or like a drunk at a bar
Yeah.
line. I'm not gonna lie. I don't think it's like creepy. I just don't think it's that deep.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I think it was a way to, like flatter. Um, but yeah, I guess not the most emotionally, uh, not a lot of emotional depth to it.
Yeah.
And obviously it triggered something in her. So
Yeah. All right, we'll move on to kind of the cocktail party where Carolina was still kind of involved in a little bit of drama, but she kind of squashed it. I want to talk a little bit about Juliana because Maddie, I know you know her.
I know Juliana very well. I've known Juliana since we were like 11 or 12 years old. We're from the same town. We're both my town's very Italian, so we both come from very similar backgrounds, big Italian families. We're actually like family friends. Her older sister has worked with my mom in the hairdressing world. Her dad's business is down the street from my dad's business. And yeah, we've known each other for a long time, and it was really exciting to kind of see her go through this journey. And I'm definitely cheering for her. She's my top pick. So, yeah, I'm excited to see where things go.
That's awesome. Please tell her I say hi and that I love her. And Michael didn't say anything. Just you can pass that along for me. That'd be great.
All right.
I literally drafted her. You didn't. You had the
I was
opportunity.
going to. I didn't think you drafted
didn't.
that high. I thought I could get her in the late round. Sorry, Juliana.
That's disrespectful.
I would have drafted you. You were high on my draft board. I promise. Let her know that she was high on my draft board.
I'll let her know.
But yeah, so I mean, how that's just gotta be weird. Obviously, like you're rooting for her, and like, granted, you probably know how this thing goes for her. But like, how weird is it watching someone you know on this?
Less weird than watching your ex.
And probably watching yourself too. Like,
yeah, and watching yourself. You're like, do I sound like that?
Yeah,
you've
watched yourself, your ex, and like a family friend on the show in the last year. That's crazy.
Like this place is getting too close for comfort. I was like, why did I pick that shirt too? I'm like, I was fresh off a plane, like 36 hours. I traveled from Colombia because Jen and I were supposed to be at a wedding together. We flew from Colombia. I had to take 3 flights. I maybe slept 5 hours. I then got in a car and went and talked to Jen. And I mean, my fashion picks could have been better at the time. I didn't really have time to go actually clean up, but
okay,
that is weird.
One more thing with that. I don't want to spend too much time about your season with Jen, but
old news.
Yeah, who makes that first call? Producers, you. Hey, I want to swing by. I might just pop in. What's that initial contact like?
I think it's a little bit of like you're on their radar. You get in touch. You talk about what like what was your relationship with Jen, and like what were you like? What is this wedding? I think the whole like wedding piece was kind of a big question. I mean, Jen found out she was the Bachelorette and then was gone on a plane with no phone 48 hours later, and me kind of left without a date. So, so I blew off the whole thing. But anyways, so yeah, so I'd say it's a little bit of like you get in contact and kind of give the context, and they're like, well, if you want to fly out and talk to her, you can. And I, without going too deep into it, like didn't want to live my life with any regret that it wasn't explored to its fullest. And yeah,
Fair enough.
it's you regret the things you don't do more than things you do. And even though they didn't work out, it's been a big growth opportunity. I'd say it's like I had the pleasure of having like a really hard time, or not the pleasure, but like it ended up being a blessing in disguise. The privilege. It was a privilege to be able to have a really difficult experience and really dig deep into, myself and grow overall from it. So,
And it brought you here.
and now we're boys.
All roads lead to BachMakers. They all
Yeah.
end up here.
Now I'm getting a new crew neck sweatshirt. Keep
Yeah,
the main
exactly.
thing the main thing.
Gotta keep the main thing the main thing. Yeah, no, that's I think we had a lot of questions when you showed up. We're like, how does that even like work logistically? But
I had a lot of questions too.
yeah.
I definitely think it was non-conventional.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, I guess last question. I remember I feel like I don't remember too many things about like Gen season already. It felt like years ago. I don't know why. But that first clip of you walking into the room with all the guys, I remember it being so much more dramatic and like an awkward pause.
It was.
Like how was that for you, that initial like, oh shit?
I mean, I think that was honestly one of the scariest things I've ever done in my life. But I think looking back, I mean, I got torn apart. Like what you saw was not representative of what went down. Like it was blood and shark water. But I think once you do something terrifying like that, other things stop being scary. Like
immersion therapy.
Yeah,
Exposure
like
therapy, yeah.
you really there's not a lot of other. I've been able to take other kind of risks in my life that I think I was able to get mentally prepared for by having honestly such a kind of tough experience with that. But again, don't regret any of it. But yeah, that was not fun. I there was a lot more going on too behind the scenes that I was like, is this safe to do? Like I remember asking the producers, I was like, is this like a safe call? Like there was a lot of alcohol flowing, a lot of emotions, and a lot of questions around, Jenna talked about her toxic ex, and then you hear of an ex showing up without any context. So immediately you think that's me. And
sorry about that. We definitely did that. We're like,
I mean, it was, yeah, she's talked about having a toxic ex for a while. And like, it was really important to Jen. I knew like Jen, like when we talked, she had some panic about it. Like she was like, I don't want people to think that this was you. Cause I was talking, I know who the ex is too. And, yeah, like, so it was really important to her for it to be clarified. And again, Jen and I are like each other's biggest supporters. Like I talked to Jen today. The dog was sick this weekend. She checked in, made sure he's okay. Like Jen and I'm her biggest supporter.
Well, I would say I'm her biggest supporter, but like
okay,
1A, 1B.
You didn't fly to New Zealand for her, did you?
I would have. I didn't have the producers pay for it either, so I would have done it on my own dime.
They tried to put me in coach. I upgraded
it. Fair enough. All right, I'll take 1B, 1A, 1B. I'll take that. Fair enough. All right, yeah, we'll let you off the hook there. What? Rose ceremony?
Rose ceremony.
Yeah. So the big some kind of heavy hitters went, or one heavy hitter went home with you. Like
I need to get to my grievance.
Yeah,
I need to get to my grandpa.
Why are you mad at?
So cocktail party before the rose ceremony. Ella, who we haven't seen a lot of this episode, didn't see her too much night one, comes up to Grant and gives him like a letter, pretty much saying, I don't remember too much of the letter, but it was very emotional. And it's about how she was very emotionally available. She wants somebody that's very emotionally available. and he reads it and he says, "Can I keep this? Like, this is awesome," and kind of validates her feelings for that letter and for that conversation. That's what we all saw. And he's asked her, "Can I keep this?" And she's like, "Yes." And then sends her home at the rose ceremony. Same night. That's wild. I'm sorry, man. Like, either don't keep it and like don't make it a whole like, "Can I keep this?" Either like maybe set it down and
What's he
you
supposed
can
to do?
still
Say, hey,
you
take it,
can
like keep it. I
no,
don't
but
need this.
you can still just like put it down and be like, "Thank you so much for sharing." Like, that was awesome. Kind of like, still validate those feelings that she's having and validate that letter, but like not be all extra and say, "I want to keep this, I'm keeping this," and then send her home. Like, that's why when Ella was like literally on her knees crying, I kind of get why. She probably thought she was safe.
Yeah. In the same vein, he also said something right before I think the ceremony started, where he was like, "Just because I don't give you a rose doesn't mean that I don't have feelings for you," or something along those lines. And I was like, "No, that's actually exactly what it means, especially when you're on week 2."
Yeah.
I'd be impressed if you could remember everyone's names. Like, I have to have the cheat sheet up.
Yeah,
But
we've been researching these women for like a month now, and I still forget names sometimes. But yeah, no, it didn't feel like a week 2 episode. I think that's like the overall takeaway. It felt like there was a lot of heavy emotions, which is like, again, part of the show, but usually later on. Like, usually week 2 is like the fun, interactive group dates, not a lot of drama, just get to know these personalities more. This felt like a heavyweight fight, like 10 rounds. I'm drained after it.
yeah, that was one of the most like emotionally draining episodes.
Oh.
Yeah, and then Alisha,
Yeah, so Alisha goes home after having one
first
of the
person he
best,
kissed. First person he kissed.
had one of
Gone.
the best night ones of the season, and just goes home. We didn't see her at all this episode, which was crazy.
Yeah, that was
And then the
That was
other
strange.
ones who go home, Vicky, I think we kind of saw coming. We didn't
Yeah.
see a lot of her at all. And then Rebecca, again, I'll miss her. Never quite. She's just an enigma. I feel like she just floated off and she'll be on. And
She's
any
manifesting her Bachelorette season right now.
any Paradise picks from these women that just went home? Yeah, I think Allie's show is probably the front runner out of those 4. I feel like Ella makes me think of Princess Leia a little bit. Just similar, like,
So they're too similar.
yeah. I don't know. I think, well, again, Paradise is going to be like a tough call this year because there's so many contestants.
Yeah, so then probably neither of any of those 3.
Yeah,
It's
probably too early to
probably
tell. Too
Yeah.
early to call. It's hard
I mean-
to really build an emotional relation, or at least a relationship with kind of the first 2-week eliminations,
Yeah.
unless it's like a Brett.
Yeah.
But
Like-
yeah, I think it's too early to tell.
Yeah.
Like, I think if Chloe went home this week, because it was kind of,
Yeah.
it made it seem like it was like really close and Chloe was about to get sent home. I think if Chloe was sent home this week, it would have kind of been that Brett situation where she got so much clout. Not clout. I hate saying it like that. Love, and support the first 2 weeks. Like, she was, the MVP last week for us. So like,
which again, you guys called that, and also I thought I know we talked about the kiss already. Like, that was the most, I think, seamless, like most deserved kiss. It felt like not forced, and it was almost like you saw the other girls like nodding along. Like,
yeah, they love her.
Yeah,
like even in our comments, the other girls are like, "Yeah, Chloe rocks. She's the best. Like, she is so unproblematic. She rocks."
Yeah.
Chloe Bachelorette season, is like, how do you think, is there a specific week she has to get to where it's like, if you don't get to this week, you don't have a chance at the Bachelorette? But like,
I mean,
she's
I think
fun.
the
She's a fun
last 2
personality.
Bachelorettes were further along they weren't top. Jenn was like, what, 5th or 6th?
Yeah, Jen was
Grant
fifth. I
was
think
kind of
you
in the
got to be
same.
at least top, like,
8.
yeah, I think if you make top 8, you're very much in the conversation. And I wonder how much they take into account, like, the reaction on social media.
I
Like,
think a lot.
so, like, I mean, you have to. Like, everyone loves Chloe, and it feels like I just don't know if she's gonna last much longer. I feel like I haven't seen anything about her for the rest of like the promos, teasers, or anything. So that's my one worry, but I don't see why not. Like they're probably in the midst of making that decision, like as we speak, in like the next couple
Yeah.
weeks. So it's probably gonna be fresh in the mind.
You never know. I'd say until they get announced, anything can happen.
Yeah, I mean, we saw with Jenn.
It's trust me.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Well, I think we can leave off there. Any final thoughts on the episode moving forward? Anyone on the hot seat?
Well, I have one that I'm like interested to watch that maybe like Rose. I think one nice touch that her name is Rose. Nice having her at the front. She's one I'm interested. I haven't formed an opinion on her yet, but she's definitely gotten my attention. So I'm interested to see kind of how her kind of story plays out.
She was one I fell in love with pretty early. It was
Yeah, maybe it's that.
It was Rose, Juliana, and Kylie. So if you see us hinting or like skewing our content favorably in their direction, that's probably why. It's probably a Wyatt bias.
Respect the hustle.
Or Carolina.
Yeah, or Carolina. So that we do have an inherent bias on this show, and we're not afraid to admit it. We're not an objective business here. This isn't a podcast that's built on objectivity.
It's all about transparency, right?
Yeah. Are you done with this franchise? If they come calling for Paradise?
It took a lot out of me. I don't know.
The beach would be fun, though.
Recovering. I'd say nothing's out of the realm of possibility.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, thanks for joining us today. This was a lot of fun. Hopefully you enjoyed it. We didn't grill you too hard, and glad you. Thanks for supporting the show. We appreciate it.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it, and thanks for having me.
All right, time for Rose Bowl roses to be handed out. We got a couple here. We'll start. Charlotte, would you like to explain your MVP pick? This is Lizzie's leading ladies. 2 points for them in the starting lineup.
Hey, I didn't venture this week.
Good. There we go. Good stuff. Charlotte, would you like to explain this pick?
I would love to explain this pick.
Please.
I really liked the way she just let her true Jersey self come out. I think everyone in the room, I was appreciated it. We thought it was entertaining. We liked that she wanted to take Zoe down a peg. I thought it was funny that she just wanted to push people around the court. And she just showed up today. And I don't think anyone else showed up in the way she did.
We had a girl at a one-on-one date and crushed it. What do you mean no one else showed up?
I have thoughts on that date. I don't know.
No, let Charlotte cook.
You mean?
Let Charlotte
What are you
cook.
talking about, Charlotte?
You.
Explain. What did Alex do wrong on that date?
Oh my gosh. That date was, first of all, like, the whole thing was hard to watch. The whole thing.
What are we talking about?
My least favorite part of that date was when they're laying on the mattress or bed, I guess, and they're like, "Let's pretend we're watching The Bachelor."
That was Riz.
That was adorable.
Alex, you're mad that Alex has Riz? Alex actually has Riz. I wrote that down in my notes. She actually has Riz.
Yeah.
I gave her props.
And oh my
She's
gosh,
clever.
he was singing at her, and she enjoyed it.
Because they're both, but we know Grant's cringe, and so if she's a little cringe, like
It works out. It evens out. We just spent 30 minutes with Maddie talking about how awesome that date was.
Okay,
Okay, not that long.
I was there, so.
Hey, I think the boys have different opinions.
I was gonna say, I think we watched the show completely different. I think we see everything that happens opposite. Like, we just, like, everyone I'm in the room with, we all, like, every time anything happens, if we, like, look at each other, we're all like, ugh. Or we're cheering at the same, like, we all agree. And you guys just,
right.
you always
are you just proving that your
but like that
friends, your sorority friends, are just a cult?
that
Yes,
that
women.
date-
Like, they all agree.
Can I say something? That date with
Yeah.
Alex, like that one-on-one, I thought it was cute until the bed part.
The bed was so weird. Also, why was it in a mall?
They were jumping on beds and broke the bed. That's cute. They didn't make any dirty jokes though, which is an L. Like,
But she didn't get a normal one-on-one. I thought that was weird. Like, with the whole, like, they do the day thing, and then they get a night portion. Like, why didn't they get that?
Okay.
that's valid.
He
That's a
said
good
it
point.
more, and I had to listen to it. I didn't want to listen to that. Like that was awful. And he just made it up on the spot.
The song was catchy. Song was catchy. That's a
I
catchy song.
need to.
I would be
It's
so
good.
terrified if someone started singing at me. Like, and you just have to look at them and be like, oh, like you don't know the words. Like, what are you saying back?
Mike,
Okay.
man
Now,
to man, we're
that
cooked.
kind of makes sense.
Wait, what was that last point?
It's like in the Barbie movie, you know, when they're like,
Yeah.
Yes.
girls. Like that's literally what this was.
I wanna push
I
you
need
around.
you. I need you. Hey, Alex, your llama's pretty cute.
And no drama.
I
llama.
wanna push you around. Yes, I will. Yes,
Yes,
I
I
will.
will.
All right, fair enough. But
So much
Mike,
stuff
man to
in
man,
that
I think we're cooked this Rose Bowl. I think we're cooked.
I mean, there's clearly favoritism towards Lizzie's team already that I'm calling out.
I have
so
no
we'll see.
idea who anyone's team is. I have not a clue.
That's fair. That's fair. No, she's staying somewhat. Yeah. All right, we'll see. Well, hey, we got some other awards to get through real quick.
All right, yeah.
Next
Let's see
award,
this.
cringe of the week.
That's every single week. That's
Yeah,
every
okay,
single
yeah,
week.
fair enough.
This was
Yeah.
so
Literally
bad.
every single week.
I couldn't even like pick something else because oh my god, my least favorite part when he said to Alex on that date when he said, "Guess what?" She's like, "What?" And he's like, "One day you're gonna have a family and like a beautiful." You guys
That's what. Okay, I'm agreeing with you here, Charlotte. I'm agreeing with you
thank
here.
you. That was so bad. It was so bad.
See,
was
I'm
so-
on the right. I'm on the women's side on that, Wyatt.
That was literally, I literally
I
just
know
said it
women.
in this episode. I said, that's the moment where I'm like, okay, Grant, not that bad. That was a good move.
Oh
He
god.
Oh my
Oh
god.
no.
No,
Charlotte.
I'm with you there, Charlotte. I took the opposite side of
No,
Wyatt there.
that was I just really found like and then at the second group date, he picks up the microphone again. I'm like, put it down. Please put it down. How are they gonna work him rapping or singing into every single episode? It's actually absurd.
Pop off. Literally pop
I
off.
kind of like it. I like the energy. I love it.
Thank you.
All right. Fair enough. Grant gets the cringe. Best dressed. I have no idea who this is gonna go to, so I really hope it's a wise gal.
It's gotta be Carolina.
It is.
Again?
Yeah.
Guys, everyone's
The
outfit
pink.
stuff to this
Oh my
week.
god, the pink, the black, the chopstick in the hair.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
That was
my
good.
God.
That was good.
So-
And
I was drooling. Sorry.
no one showed up this week with outfits at all. Can I say my least favorite outfit? Is that allowed?
Sure.
I'll tell
Yeah,
you,
go
it was
for it.
Ella's zebra dress at the
Yeah.
rose ceremony or group date, whatever it was. No, that was the group date. She wore the blue dress. That was also ugly at the rose ceremony. But yeah, no, Carolina, her black dress at the group date, so pretty. Her earrings were
black
really pretty
boots.
too. And she was the only one that had like a dress that stood out at the rose ceremony. Like everyone else was like fine. Like Juliana's was like pretty. Bailey's was pretty. Latia's was like weird, I think. Wait, no, not hers. Wait, yes, was it hers? That was like the orange and the pink.
I don't think so.
Or
That's a
something.
Lizzie question.
Oh, well, someone also had like a weird dress. But yeah, Carolina was best dressed for sure.
What did we
and
think?
The hair, the slick back hair.
All right, calm down, Mike. We
Nice
get it. You love
hairstyle.
Carolina.
Sorry.
What do we think about Natalie's? That we thought Natalie's blue dress early on in the original group date was solid. No one else. Is Carolina just going to run away with this? Is basically what I'm
The
asking.
high neck, like that one.
I thought
I think
Allie's
so.
show was well dressed this episode too.
I did too.
Alicia's dress was like kind of pretty at the rose ceremony. I was
Can I-
fine.
A lot.
I'm going to propose a rule, just because this might come up later.
Nope, not mid-season.
Well, no, I'm proposing it. You can shut it down. I'm saying
Okay.
the same dress can't win best dressed twice.
No.
So if Carolina wears the same dress
but
from
she
like
was, but
week one,
Well, she'll
Charlotte's
never-
literally explaining that the whole episode she just looked better than all you other.
agreed.
hosts.
No, agreed. No, Carolina can win it as many times as you want, but it can't be for the same dress.
she'll never wear the same dress twice, so I don't think we have to worry about that. Like she
They
just
don't they recycle dresses?
They have to recycle dresses. They don't
They
have
like
enough
literally,
clothes.
no, they don't. They share with each other.
They recycle towards the end.
That's recycling. That's the definition of recycling.
Oh wait,
You know what? I rewear outfits sometimes, and that's okay.
So you're saying that I couldn't give if Chloe or someone if someone wore one of Carolina's dresses that we've already seen, they can't get best dress.
Yes.
Okay.
If it's one before, so like that dress that Carolina wore night one that's pictured, or the one she won
She's
for
not
today.
Nobody's wearing that one again.
Okay, you have to decide right now which dress won. It can't be the whole episode. It's gotta be one dress.
The pink outfit at the group date.
It's not your call, Mike.
I'm sorry. That was just
That
so
one, oh
pretty.
my god, it's so crazy. She's so skinny. Did you see she literally gets like tied up in the back? I was like, oh my god, you have no waist. That's so crazy. But oh my gosh, wait, also at the date when she was like straddling him, that was so weird. Mm-mm. Thumbs down for me on that too. But
All right,
I'm
Commissioner.
gonna-
Let's stay
I'm gonna
unbiased
take, I'm
here.
gonna take the other side on that one.
What's the dress? What dress won this week?
I honestly think I want to go with her. I liked her group date look with the black dress and the big gold earrings and
And the
the hair.
chopstick.
I think
The chopstick.
she looked so much better than everyone else there.
All right, fair enough. Next up, we have villain.
This one's
I
obvious.
feel like this,
Yeah.
yeah. All right.
Yep.
I
So
get
that's
She
another.
might repeat next week.
Another
At least
rose.
I'll bet.
Yeah,
Not
this
the
one,
last time I see that.
like, she was just kind of annoying in the group date. Like, that was so awkward when she was lingering when Allie Joe was talking. I was watching it like, ugh, it was so bad. And then
Yeah.
when they were talking, when she like was supposed to go for her shot and then was like, "Did I pull you?" You know, when she like, pulled that move, and they were talking outside the elevators. That was really awkward. And then it went to commercial, and then they came back and they were on the roof, and then that was also really weird. And it didn't seem like they were having a good time talking to each other, or he didn't seem like he was having a good time talking to her at least. And she was like giggling at what she was saying, and no one else was. And yeah, I don't know. Weird week for her. She'll get better. I don't know.
I want to say I love doing the episodes. This is the first time we're recording this after the episode
Yeah,
recap
this is
because
so
then we
good.
get Charlotte's just like pent up energy that Michael and I have already talked about the episode. So I love this.
And it's
This
just completely different than your
is
views.
so different than what I was thinking, but no, I love this. This is very fun.
Wait,
But I agree here.
You like? Oh, you agree with her, Zoe?
Oh,
I
yeah.
I defended her a little bit. Watch the episode. I'm not. It's a long story.
I'll
but
embrace
even-
the fact that she was villain of the week.
Even Kevin Durant has a villain arc.
Right.
Yeah, two-time champion, Kevin Durant.
2-time champion.
Oh, what are we doing?
Okay, guys, everyone
The
agreed.
tarantula.
The tarantula was so funny. Wait, I actually tried to DM her to find out if she ever found one, and she didn't answer me. But I really wanted to because I thought I'd have like street cred if like she did answer. But then she just like didn't look. But I thought that was so funny. Wait, if I actually was gonna pick a moment of the week that was like in the episode, or like, well, not whatever.
That's your
When-
job.
That's your job.
Shh. Guys. I'm sorry. I said that wrong. I meant.
Week 2. It's week 2. Oh my gosh.
when
She's had too much
Zoe
fun.
and Grant walk in, and the little boy is like, like that was so funny.
That was the moment of the week.
But
But
he doesn't
couldn't
get a
win.
rose.
Yeah, that's true.
or-
All right.
They couldn't give him a rose, so I'm giving. I thought the tarantula was so funny because, like, why?
Right.
Like, no one talked about it again. It was so random. She got like no screen time. Her dress, very pretty at the rose ceremony. Also, she was my number 2. She was wearing this like red, like scoop net, like it like went down and like it looked very good. She looked very pretty. I think the run on the show is going to end soon. She's getting like no screen time, but she's really coming around. I stand Parisa.
Lizzie, who did you bench this week?
I benched Ella. This week.
Ella. And so you got all 5 starters, got points, got roses?
I think
Correct.
that. No,
No,
because
Alicia.
Alicia
didn't.
Oh, Alex, so you got 4.
left, so
Gotcha.
I got 4.
All right.
Wait,
All right. I
can't
believe that's our final
that's
standing
crazy.
self-fact. Huh?
I can't believe Alicia, whatever, went home.
I
I was
know.
never
Yeah.
I'm
That's
sad she
crazy.
went home.
All right. Last thing. Do you have tweets of the week? Oh, hell yeah.
Mhm.
Let's go.
I only 4.
So Beverly saying she's so happy right now when the children pull up.
She like said it like
I'm-
so like monotonous. She's like, I'm so happy right now. And I was like, me too. I'd be miserable.
I love Charlotte's anti-Grant arc. It's incredible. Just so over his musical career. That's awesome.
Oh, this just in. Alicia posted 4 minutes ago. Thank you, Bachelor ABC, for an amazing journey. See you in paradise with eyes.
posting that before it's
She's
over.
just trying to help her campaign. That's
It's
why.
not even over on the West Coast yet.
No,
It
I
hasn't
know.
fully aired. That's crazy.
And she
Oh, she's
lives in the West Coast.
Oh
That's
man. All right. Well, that is the
Ella
awards
White,
for the
that's
Rose
so
Bowl.
funny.
It's, Ella, why are you
Okay,
on the
no,
board? Are you known for,
no,
like-
the Ella one. You didn't hear my rant about that. He totally validated that little card she gave him. He asked like, "Can I keep this?" and then sends her home. Wild.
Wait, also that was so awkward, that moment. That like was like in the running up for
Because
cringe.
she
Oh,
was
the
holding
hand.
like this.
Holding his
Yes,
face.
yes. The
She was
hand on
too
the
Nazi with it. She needs to cup it more.
she was trying to turn his like face to her. And
Yeah,
like it
no, that was bad.
awkward.
See, if he had a beard, she could have just done like this. But
All right. Well,
Loser.
so I'm torn. Part of me is mad because of how these roses went, but also I'm so happy because this is exactly what I envisioned when we came up with this idea. It's just pure chaos, and this is what it's for. So I love this. Thank you, Charlotte, and everyone. Thanks for listening. We will see you guys next week for week 3 of Grant's season. Probably more Carolina. See you guys then.
a lot of crying.
Thanks for watching this episode of BachMakers. If you enjoyed today's episode, please consider joining our Patreon page linked in the description below. It's $5, cup of coffee, and it helps support us a ton. Thank you, and maybe we'll see you next week.
Yeah, and from next week on the BachMakers, we shave Wyatt's head off.
Maybe. Only one way to find out.
By tuning in.
That was implied.
Back to you in the studio.
And cut.
Thanks, Julianne.